We're here on 2,000 atmospheres for our winners match in Group B of the round of 8. Spawning in the top right of 2,000 atmospheres. It's our blue Terran player for Team Roddy. This is CuKu. And spawning in the bottom left, our red Zerg player for Project Hive. This is Ghosti. We haven't had a chance to see Ghosti play much of his ZVT as of late. But if it looks anything like his ZVP looked, I would imagine that probably going to be in okay shape. Just getting a piece of bread in. Trying to keep my blood sugar high. These days end up getting a little bit long, but it's all good. So what kind of build order are we going to get out of these two players? And it's best of 3, not a best of 4. Looks like nothing of major consequence here so far. Ghosti does opt to take the forward third base here on 2,000 atmospheres. I'm just going to get a pretty standard 1-1-1. Looks like CuKu's going to drop the early command center as well. So, pretty standard, normal looking game so far. Now, Ghosti's got a lot of options here for his designated opening if he wants to go for it. Got options to go into a nice little Roach Ravager timing, get overwhelming with Zerglings and Banelings. As it sits right now, just going to take the opportunity to drone up behind his push out to this third base location. The creep spread will begin its production out to the center of the map. For the most part, this is just going to be rather quiet, standard opening here for both of these players. I do like the queen count, though. The queen should be rather effective in moving himself into a better position here. It's a very, very quick third base plant as well. They're going to try and capitalize on the fact that his opponent really isn't doing a whole lot either. Ghosti notably does not have any lair tech at this point. It's just Zerglings and Queens. Like, not even Banes at this point. Finally, now we do see the lair going down. I guess that means that CuKu has like a ton of different options here. He's going to add a couple more barracks into his production cycle. Just a very unorthodox, quiet game number 1 here between these two players. Now, it does look like the Liberator is going to try and find its way into the third base location. losing 11 of those workers. That is a bit of an inconvenience for sure. Oh, losing access to a lot of those larvae is probably even more damaging. But Ghosti does have the option for a timing attack here. What's actually back across? It's 9 Marines. Okay, there are. And that ends up being fine. But these Zerglings will find a little bit of damage. Pick off one of the supply depots. A 4th base and a 5th base already on site as well. So both of these players are just going to dial in for a bit of a long form game. Third base already saturated and taken care of once again here for CuKu. It seems like CuKu is doing his diligence to find the scouting information that he needs. His 1-1 is just about ready to complete here. Going to have combat shields as well, so this 730 push is still going to have some teeth with it. But I have to imagine that Ghosti on the back of 78 drones is going to be able to advance this advantage forward very, very quickly here. A pretty sizable amount of Hellbats. Oh, that was a good amount of damage onto those Banelings. And I think that might mitigate enough damage here to allow these Marines to get some decent damage done. Good stutter step backwards. Those Banelings off creep will now suddenly get a little less fast. Decent pickup here. Picking off a lot. CuKu getting a pretty decent exchange, but does he know about the 5th base at this point? No, he doesn't. He has to just assume that this 4th base is really all that exists at this point, and suddenly that gets out of hand really fast, especially if this ends up being the saturated base, which it is. So any scouting that happens up here now suddenly is a bit on the deceiving side. There's a fair amount of aggression here, though. Plenty of Banelings should be able to clean this up in the long term. It's just a matter of how much damage can get done. A couple of mines trying to bait that bio forward. Those mines could connect with Banelings. That would be just a dream come true here for CuKu. Instead, those Zerglings are going to draw most of the fire. Those Banelings will be able to shove this off and away. Okay, now CuKu has the information. There is a base on the bottom side of the map. It's going to be lurker play behind this. So we've already got Hive Tech as well. Lurker upgrades on the way. Do we have any lurkers on the map just yet? No, not quite. Still working on those Hydra upgrades as well. Nice little pick off on that morphing overseer. And split aggression is going to be starting up here for CuKu. He's not getting a great exchange on the top side of the map, but hopefully we'll try to find more damage on the bottom. Again, doing everything we can to try and minimize some of this damage here. Great splits by those Marines. Holy crap. Oh, Queen actually caught way out of position here towards the front. Those Queens, or those mines rather. Oh, go very well. Mines will not be allowed to survive. Feels like CuKu's control here is a little on the sloppy side as he's trying to maneuver through multiple of these engagements. There's the next Clement Rainer. I like it. I like it. Having a tank in the proper position there is advantageous, but Ghosti is just calculating exactly what he needs to defend on both sides of the map at the same time. He has a fair amount of Ling and Bane. He's dividing it rather well so that he doesn't find himself outside of the realms of a defense. And it just seems like Ghosti is trying to bank up as much as he possibly can here. Takes a unfortunate shot, but Hydras are now getting added into the mix. That's going to add a lot of DPS. He's going to be careful, though. He doesn't want to lose those valuable Hydras. Does lose that base finally here. Can't say that I've ever actually thought about this base on this map. That's actually crazy. Why have I never even like recognized its existence? Ghosti starting to leap ahead in his economy account. Ooh, those lurkers are going to get a lot of bio damage here, and those tanks aren't quite close enough to really pressure the base itself. Losing the gas is unfortunate, but definitely not going to be the game-ending damage that losing the base at this point is going to be. But a fair number of Hydras here with Banelings in tow. Lurkers also being brought in as well. And this ends up being a held position. Now Ghosti's going to try and see if he can lock this in up here. The Lurkers are going to be able to find their ways in. And once the scans come down, it's almost too late. The Banelings are come rolling in. And Ghosti's able to clean things up with a lot of patient play. Topples his opponent in game number 1. Just a nice, quiet opening to this game. Once again, I think the interesting path will be how Ghosti wants to expand in this map. He's going to choose to take the pocket third base here just out in front of his main, or if he's going to take that third base out to the northwest of his natural. Does offer some opportunities for economic growth and creep spread if he decides to go for the more forward base. But I also know that CuKu is probably apt to maybe play a little bit more aggressive than normal. I think that's worth considering if you are his opponent. But I think a lot of that's just going to come down to scouting. CuKu going to go for the early command center once again. Here we go. So Ghosti does opt to go for the more forward hatchery here, which I do think is a smart play. And if all of a sudden you accidentally get caught with a couple of tanks behind this mineral line, suddenly you're staring down the barrel of a game number 3. this isn't as scary of a situation here for CuKu, though. CuKu will more than likely just take that third base location. He's going to get a Viking here first. Possibly clear out some scouting information. Might offer a bit of maybe cheeky shenanigans by chance. An interesting choice. The Baneling nest is already down and in place for Ghosti, so he's going to have a bit more tech to play with in the early stages of this game. But look at Ghosti. I mean, he is starting to leapfrog forward just a little bit. Has a sizable amount of drones. And a little bit of an army advancement, but that should all change rather quickly here as CuKu is already on site with his third base location. The fourth base going down right before the 5-minute mark. Both players choosing not to really attack each other in the opening set here other than this little creep spread exchange. Viking going to get a decent amount of information denial alongside just exposing where those queens are and where the ground forces may or may not be able to try and harass into. But the production, oh my gosh, the production is on the way. CuKu, 5 barracks coming down here. 5. This is a bit of a dicey situation for Ghosti if this goes relatively unscouted, but I think that won't actually be an issue. Yeah, these Zerglings are going to come on in. They're going to see an inordinate amount of Marines. We'll have to back off and start tapping into the technology that Ghosti really already has on the docket. He's got that Baneling nest. It's about 2/3 of the way done with Glial Reconstitution, not Glial Reconstitution, centrifugal hooks. Yo, Thor, thank you so much for the gift sub to George. Woo! Welcome back. That looks like an infestation pit going to go down here in the backside of the base, and Ghosti's just going to continue expanding. This is just continuing to be less and less of a major threat. And in all honesty, it's just Marine tank. I mean, with speed Banes, speed Lings, 1/1 melee, and a decent amount of creep spread. I mean, this army just gets bopped, right? Well, he is going to try and go after these Hellions, and it does bring back to the tank. Oh, this is not exactly what I don't think this is what CuKu wanted to draw up in the lesson book here. One tank getting picked off from the high ground, and that is going to make this push that much less deadly. He's got to be careful. He doesn't want to accidentally lose a lot of these Banelings to free tank shots. Will this be able to get far enough forward? I think it will. The follow-up, yeah. Follow-up Lings should be good. This bio is super overstimmed. But off creep, he's going to be able to make the most of some tactical decision-making here. Ooh, picking up a few of those. Grabbing the tank as well. Not having 2-2 just yet is showing a little bit. Okay, giant force here. Are there any tanks? No. No, there are not, and that is not a scary amount of bio, especially not when those lings are going to just be able to trail all the way in. Now, there's going to be a force here out at this outlying base. Oh, that ends up being a great choke for those units. So those Marines will be able to clean up all of those Zerglings. The workers in their entirety get evacuated out of that third base location. But what is CuKu going to do about the economy of Ghosti here? I mean, this economic advantage is starting to become very palpable. 2-2, melee and carapace just finishing up. Lurkers have already been added into the mix alongside Hydras, so we will see that additional push. Adrenal Glands is just about ready to finish up as well, so this ends up being a continuation of the type of build that we saw in the previous series that ended up going rather well for Ghosti. CuKu keep trying to bring the pressure on to his opponent, but not really able to break the wall, if you will. So Lurkers will continue to push everything back. Those units will not find a large amount of damage. Those Marines are going to get overwhelmed. These should be able to clean it up. No, not quite. Adrenal Glands is a good unit. This base is going to get taken down. So having more of those Hydras is going to be helpful for pushing back the medevacs. Liberators are going to get a fair amount of damage here. Oh, a lot of those end up eating giant amounts of DPS from not only the tank, but the Liberators as well. Hydras are usually not that strong to begin with. Ooh, good protection here. Keeps those medevacs in check. Medevacs actually do end up falling. 11 more Lurkers on the way. Both Lurker upgrades are going to be complete here in just a moment. Seismic Spine's already done, and Adaptive Talons is on the way as well. 3 melee and carapace is going to add a ton of value potential on top of that. Having all the resources here to put this into play is going to be very important. And we do have an additional command center being built in as well. 3-3 is now complete here for CuKu, so he will be able to be more aggressive with his bio force. Here comes a large amount of lings. Oh, that's going to overwhelm this entire army. Ghosti loses almost nothing as well. He can afford to take a little bit of damage up at this base, but he doesn't. He's already moving out across the map here. Lurkers are going to be able to siege in pretty decent spots. Those tanks are going to try and find a little bit of damage, but the friendly fire is not going to be there just yet. Ooh, workers did get pulled there for a brief moment, but in the end, it actually doesn't need to be done. He's going to immediately draw those back. He doesn't want to lose all those workers because he is already playing from behind. Ghosti has not maintained a sizable economic advantage here in this second game, and he looks to continue doing so. Oh, Ghosti. Oh, Ghosti. Oh, nice little decision there to take out the armory. Was that the only armory that he had? Oh, yeah, it was. Okay, let's... I mean, that is important information for sure. Okay, Vipers are out as a part of this. I think Ghosti, unless Ghosti takes a really, really poor engagement here out in the center of the map, I don't think there's a scenario where Ghosti loses this. I mean, the tanks don't have any upgrades at this point. That is a sizable loss. This is going to be a large amount of Zerglings that just comes pouring on in. Plenty of Zerglings up there. This Bioforce is going to try and position itself. These Lings will find a lot of damage, provided they can get past the Marauders. Oh, that's going to be a lot of... That's a lot of... Yeah. GG is called, and Ghosti able to knock his opponent off with lots of careful, patient play. 2-0 in the winner's match. He moves on to the playoffs here in Season 3. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Make sure to click the subscribe button so you can catch more of my videos as they are released. If you want more Rushi content, feel free to find me on Twitch and Twitter. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.